What's the most obvious hint a girl was interested in you, but you missed all the signs? Story 1. In grade 11 English class, I had two girls start flirting with me, and they asked me to hang out some night. I said, oh, maybe we could go fishing in the dark? And they were like, exactly. I thought they were just messing with me, because in my mind I was like, who TF fishes in the dark? It took me a couple of years to figure out what fishing in the dark really meant. I missed an opportunity for a threesome. FML. Story 2. She had her friend's girlfriend ask me if I was in a relationship. Sadly, I was, because I should have seen every red flag but chose not to. The temptation was fully there. Instead, I just went home where she yelled at me for being out with friends for too long. This was in one of the top party schools in campus. Next day, my buddy tells me Christina was so into you. For a tiny minuscule moment, I had done game. Story 3. One day in French class, as I sat opposite of her at a table of 6. The entire class, she was running her foot up and down my leg, inside my pants. I just thought she was absent-mindedly moving her foot up and down and didn't notice that she accidentally kicked off her shoe and was rubbing my leg. This was high school. Many years later, oh. Yes, ladies, me are oblivious. Just tell us to our face what you want. Story 4. I have been confessed to that people liked me back in the day, but after all this time I still try to remember if I missed signs. Nope, can't even remember signs. In this day and age, misreading a sign is more dangerous than ever. Verbal statements with eye contact maybe will work. The ones that I did find out they had a crush on me gave me nervous anxiety that I would disappoint them once they actually knew me. Story 5. I was doing the Destiny 2, Last Wish raid on day 1 and kept calling out the symbols to shoot. My dumbass didn't realize there was a whole-ass woman behind me that I met on Tinder trying to give me a hint because she came over to watch me raid. She stayed for 14 hours while I literally was yelling at my guy friends doing the callouts such as dolphin, snake, on top, L5, come on me, etc. Celebrating 5 years soon. Story 6. There was this girl I knew once, pretty, and, her, for a long time and she's just a friend BTW. One day when we were randomly talking, she asked me to join my arms to hers to see how much my arm is longer. She was pointing her back with her arm stretched out, then I just went to the front and measured it from the opposite end. Still am not sure if it was a sign/hint or not. TBH, if it's a hint, why is it a hint? Story 7. Got invited over to this girl's place. I show up, she greets me at the door in a nice dress, gives me a hug, tells me to come in and whatnot. We hang out, had a few drinks, and smoked some weed, talked for a little bit, but it got to a point where it was kinda like, what are we doing here? If she was waiting for me to make the first move or not, but I was waiting for her. I just kinda up and left after an hour or so. Story 8. Had been talking to this girl for a long time in high school, had a massive crush on her. Was a scene right from a movie, kicked the last-minute game-winning goal in a soccer game. Took off running, and saw her running at me in what now was clearly a hug position. Arms out wide. My dumb, high on adrenaline ass hit her with the double high five and ran off to chest bump my team like a fucking idiot gorilla. Story 9. I was staying at an older woman's home. She walked out of the bathroom with no clothes on after taking a shower and said oops and smiled. Then before I went to bed she said, well, it's not like I'm just gonna fuck myself to sleep with my dildo I keep under my bed. I didn't sleep with her. To be fair, I wasn't attracted to her. She let me spend the night because I was homeless and I needed a place to sleep. Story 10. We were at an anime convention and she asked me if I wanted to go to the hentai, anime porn, projection with her, but the hentai projection was very late and there was a casual smash tournament early the morning after, so I declined to go to back home and sleep. I don't know what made me more dense, not taking the hint or that, after this incident, it still took me nearly 10 years before realizing I am a spec. Story 11, in seminar in school, for 3 months she sat on my desk or next to me on the floor. When she was on my desk her legs/thighs were almost always touching me. I knew she liked me, but was far too afraid of damaging our current friendship if I asked her out, and now she's dating some girl and I'm sitting alone in my room ranting to strangers on Reddit. I'm aware in hindsight that I should have asked her BTW. Story 12, whenever our friend group was at my cabin, gone on a trip or just had a house party, she would always sleep in the same bed with me. Never planned it or anything. I would go to bed 10 minutes later, she'd walk in, get into bed with me, and cuddle up, put my hand on her boob and everything. Never made a move cause I was an idiot and thought we were only friends. Looking back now, I'm so pissed at myself. Story 13, in high school this girl asked me to the prom and I said no, because I thought I was too cool for the prom. She was very beautiful, had done some modeling for local stores, and was a really nice person to boot. Looking back, I don't think I said no because I was too cool for the prom. I think I said no because I was scared, and also because I couldn't figure out why she would like someone like me. Oh well. Story 14, I had a side job in high school selling ice cream treats from a cart during lunch. A girl used to come by every day and buy a big missile popsicle, basically a fruit-flavored frozen dildo. Then she would sit on the bench in front of me and eat it, slowly, in a way that years later I realized was sexually suggestive, staring at me the entire time. But at that time I was just too thick-skulled to see it. Story 15, there was this punk girl who was in my class at high school. Short spiky hair, really wasted jeans, big smile and clear green eyes. Have lost the track on her many years ago. Just in time I realized the big smile was only in her face while she was chatting with me. I was the only guy she seemed to try to have good terms with, and she was ready interested in having contact with me out of the high school. Story 16, I went to a party with a friend. Met a girl there and we talked all night. She was very attractive and thought I was lucky she was even interested in talking to me. Towards the end, she asked if I wanted a ride home and we could continue talking at her place if I wanted. I said thanks, but I had a ride and it was great meeting her. Later light dawned on me, and I felt like such an ass. Never saw her again. Story 17, still feel dumb to this day for this one. Judgment is more than welcomed, lol. Went and got a haircut at Sports Clips. Finished and she rang me out. As I was signing my name, she handed me a business card with her cell phone written on it. I looked at it and said, and I quote, "Why do I need this? Ugh." Did end up using it and getting more than just haircuts from her. Thank God I recovered some. Story 18, back in high school there was a girl in my class that I would occasionally hang out with that I liked, but never made a move. One day in class she looks at me and says, "Wow, you have big hands and feet," and gave me an interesting look. Me being the socially awkward teen, I was made some dumb joke and went back to my school work. Needless to say, nothing ever happened and she stopped talking to me after that. Story 19, you know how Facebook shows you your memories? Well, every once in a while I get memories from 8th to 10th grade, so like 15 years ago. Well, more than once I saw old conversations from these girls I used to think were the hottest girls ever. And always thought they hated me, but reading back on the old posts, they were literally flirting hard with me. And I was just too much of a dumb kid to realize this. Story 20, they told me I'm an awesome person. Made many efforts to talk to me, made sure to tell me I look handsome and that I should be more confident. I missed these signs, because I had low self-esteem due to my upbringing. They all seemed to follow the signs I mentioned. 2 even tried to get help from my friends, which I found out later. I just saw the flaws of myself and never really noticed the good parts. Story 21, walked a nice girl to the bus stop from a night class. Asks what I'm doing later on and I say, probably Netflix, and she say, oh Netflix, and chill, and do you know what I said? Ha yeah, good night. I, not knowing that was an invitation or even a thing at the time, laughed and said goodnight. It only dawned on me when someone made a joke about it, explains her confused face and being off with me. Story 22. I was at a toga party talking to this very cute girl I knew. She asked what I had on under my toga, and when I told her nothing, she became obsessed with trying to pull my toga off, while looking me in the eyes with this devilish look. Why I didn't offer her take it off in a more private room, I don't know. I froze. Maybe she just thought it would be a funny prank, but I'll never know. Sigh. Story 23. We were laid down next to each other and she draped her leg over mine playing footsie with me, while stroking my hair. In all fairness, I knew she was interested in hooking up, but we were close friends and didn't want to fuck up our friendship, as she was the first person I had opened up to in about 4 years. If she had said to me about wanting to start a relationship, then things would have been different. Story 24. I was raised by a single mom in a family with more women than men. At a fundamental level, I don't assume anything. I've heard way too many horror stories. I know many people just can't wait to get home and get comfortable. I have quite literally been just about inside someone and it finally clicked, oh, they are actually into me. I'm not always that bad, but when I have a blind spot, it's fucking huge.